Mama Osei was a name spoken with admiration and reverence in the village of Udo, near Benin City. She was a woman of great wealth, owning several thriving markets, transport businesses, and even a school. To the public, she was a philanthropist, a savior of the poor, always giving to the needy. But those who whispered in secret feared her, for they knew that her wealth did not come from hard work alone. She had a big secret which no one knew about. It started years ago when she was a struggling trader, unable to make ends meet. Desperate, she sought help from a powerful herbalist deep in the forests of Edo State. The old man had looked into her desperate eyes and given her a chilling choice: sacrifice something precious, and wealth would follow. At first, she hesitated, but when poverty pressed its weight on her shoulders, she made a terrible decision. Her first victim was her own newborn son. The child was weak and sickly, and in her mind, she convinced herself that he would not have lived long anyway. The ritual was performed under the cover of night, and within weeks, her fortune changed. Her business, once struggling, flourished overnight. It was as if unseen hands were guiding her, opening doors that were once closed. Due to problems and disagreements, her husband Solomon left her. He thought that if they didn't have a child again, that means the marriage wouldn't end well and wasn't going to work. But the hunger of the spirits she had pledged herself to was never satisfied. The herbalist warned her that the sacrifices must continue. And so, over the years, Mama Osei found ways to provide what the spirits demanded. At first, she targeted orphans, children no one would miss. She would take in street kids under the pretense of helping them, but they would disappear soon after. As her wealth grew, so did her thirst for power. She expanded her network, bribing police officers and local politicians to cover up the missing children. With each sacrifice, her influence grew, and no one dared to question her. The rumors that surrounded her were spoken only in hushed tones, for those who pried too much often met untimely deaths. Even her family members were marveled at her sudden wealth, but they kept silent because they didn't want to stop getting money from her. One time, her sister's only daughter came to spend the holiday in her house. At night, something would disturb her to kill her niece. She had the urge to kill her and make her as one of her sacrifice, but she held herself because she knew she was the only child her sister had. Whenever Mama Osei went out, people complimented her and her good skin. As Mama Osei made sacrifices, she looked younger. Her peers that were already old and wrinkled wondered what made her look younger. She drew the attention of men whenever she passed. One afternoon, she went into a restaurant to get something to eat when a man stopped her. "Hello, you look so beautiful." He complimented her sheepishly. "Thank you," she replied him. They both started hanging out, and from hanging out, they started dating, and within a year or two, they both got married. They both loved each other very much that people envied their kind of love. Mama Osei showered her husband with so much love that made her peers envy her. Michael was well-to-do, so they were both flourishing in wealth. But something still made Michael sad and cry at night. It was the fact that they couldn't bear a child. It bothered him so much that he decided to talk to Mama Osei about it. "I think we should go see a doctor," Michael suggested as he brought up the discussion. "Okay, we will." Mama Osei agreed. Deep within her, she knew the doctor won't find anything. The moment she decided to go through with the ritual, she sealed her womb as a covenant which made her not to conceive again, even for her ex-husband. Early the next morning, they both went to see the doctor. He conducted the tests and they waited for the results. Michael panicked because he was deeply sure it had something to do with their health. Mama Osei, on the other hand, was relaxed because she knew the doctor wouldn't find anything. She sat comfortably in her seat. After 30 minutes, the doctor came back with the results. "I'm sorry, but I see that there's nothing wrong with both of you. You both are healthy and good to conceive," the doctor told them both. Michael was disappointed. He really and badly wanted to have a child. This was his first marriage, so it made him sad that he couldn't bear a child. Mama Osei, on the other hand, felt unbothered. She continued searching for children to use for her ritual to keep doubling her money and businesses. Michael's mother, who was also a wealthy and influential woman in Benin, even at her old age, was still classy and strict. She owned various businesses in the city of Benin. Her name was a known name in the city. She single-handedly raised 5 sons on her own. Her husband died, leaving her to fend for their 5 sons. Mrs. Grace was a relentless woman who always went for what she wanted. She started hustling after the death of her husband. Within few years, she built an empire that will last for generations. Mrs. Grace was keen on grandchildren, especially females, since she didn't have. She vowed that all her sons must give her female grandchildren. After hearing Michael and Mama Osei couldn't conceive a child, she didn't take it well. Ever since she met Mama Osei, she never liked her. Their spirits never matched. Mrs. Grace, out of anger, one day came to Michael's house and confronted Mama Osei on why she couldn't give her grandchildren. Mama Osei kept silent, staring at her. She didn't want to create a scene. She watched as Mrs. Grace shouted at her until Michael intervened. After that day, Mrs. Grace saw that Mama Osei wasn't touched by what she did. She planned something big. One day, while Mama Osei and Michael were in their house, they heard a loud knock on the door. Michael opened it to see his furious mother, Mrs. Grace, with a beautiful-looking lady. As from today onwards, Glory stays in this house. She has equal rights as Osei, and most importantly, she's your new wife, Michael. Mrs. Grace said, taking Glory upstairs. Mama Osei rose to her feet in anger, her eyes staring daggers at Mrs. Grace. If a knife was in her hand, she would have rushed at her and stabbed her to death. Michael, on the other hand, didn't know what to do. He was still in shock. Glory started staying in the house even after Mama Osei told Michael to throw her out. Michael was a man with sympathy and wouldn't throw out a lady on the road like that. Mama Osei's anger grew day by day. She hated the sight of Glory. Whenever Glory was around, she felt like choking her to death. Within few months, Michael started falling for Glory. Mama Osei thought her marriage was going to end until a thought suddenly hit her. She sat down in her room one day, thinking about Glory, and if she gets pregnant, the only way I'm going to get back at her and also renew my ritual is to use her baby once she gives birth. Mama Osei thought to herself. From that day onwards, she started acting all good to Glory, which surprised her. Michael felt comfortable since Mama Osei was okay with what was going on. Little did they know that disaster was going to break. Few months later, Glory got pregnant. Michael cherished her. His full attention was always on her, which made Mama Osei yearn for vengeance. She hated the fact that the man she loves another woman. It created a hole in her heart. One morning, she decided to talk to Glory. Why do you want to end my marriage? Mama Osei asked her. Sorry, I don't understand what you're saying. Glory said, folding her arms. Don't act like you don't know what I'm saying. Mama Osei fired immediately. You could see her anger through her eyes. Well, I will break it down to you. Michael's mother brought me to this house as his wife to do what you cannot do. I am here to show you who the real woman is. Glory told her confidently. Mama Osei's anger grew in such a way that she clenched her fist. She had never been insulted in such a way, especially by a young lady. Mama Osei always saw herself as the pride and price of the city, and no one dared to talk down on her. There was a time at the market, a woman tried insulting her, but Mama Osei ordered her bodyguards to throw the woman goods into the gutter. There was also a time when a man tried to slap her. She immediately ordered her bodyguards to beat the man and send him to prison. His family came begging, but she was hellbent on dealing with him. She stared at Glory in anger. She calmed herself down before leaving. Before leaving, she returned to Glory. I just want to let you know that you will forever regret what you just told me. Mama Osei told her before leaving. The date for Glory to finally give birth came. She was rushed to the hospital where she was attended to by the doctor. Mama Osei was at home when she heard that Glory had put to birth to a baby girl. She was the most excited person because she knew the time for her revenge has come. Mama Osei went to the hospital to visit them with fruits in a basket. Congratulations, Glory, I'm happy for you. Mama Osei smiled sheepishly at her. She stared at the baby with content. She had already planned how to kidnap the baby. That night, while Glory was asleep with the baby by her side, Mama Osei came in. She was dressed in a black cloak which covered her face. She took the baby and went away. She did it in such a way that no one saw her. She headed straight to the evil forest to meet with the herbalist. Without wasting time, she was told to use a pestle on the baby. She did it without wasting time. Blood dropped from her mean-looking face. A satisfied grin rested on her face. After she was done, she cleaned up and went home. The next morning, the hospital was in chaos. Everyone searched for the baby. Glory couldn't hold her tears as she cried like a little child. Michael searched and accused the doctors and nurses. Just to not be suspected, Mama Osei came to the hospital with gifts and fruits. When she saw everyone was worried, she went to Glory. "What is going on, dear?" Mama Osei asked Glory, acting ignorant. Glory stared at her with disgust and anger. "Where is my child?" Glory yelled furiously at her. "I don't understand what you're saying, Glory," Mama Osei said, feigning innocent. "You have never been happy ever since I entered that house. You witch," Glory yelled, almost throwing things at Mama Osei. "Don't say that, dear. Osei has been in the house all night. She wouldn't even dare to harm a fly." Michael defended her. "She's blindfolding you with her fake character. She's not a good woman and I know that," Glory said as she broke into tears. "I think I should take my leave now. I can't take this," Mama Osei said before leaving. As she walked out, she smiled to herself. She was happy that she had won amidst all odds. "No one steps on my toes and gets away with it," she said to herself before driving off. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. Still, the baby wasn't found. Glory had already given up. Michael too was heartbroken. They never expected that they would lose their first child. At first they thought maybe the kidnapper would call and demand for a ransom and return the baby, but it wasn't so. Mama Osei made sure she didn't leave anything that would implicate her. She disposed the body in a river. Mama Osei continued with her evil acts. She kept on taking children from the streets, under the bridge, just for her rituals. She even went forward to sending agents to poor people's homes and convince their parents to give them their children, promising to take them to school and better their life. The ignorant ones fell for it, while the ones who didn't want to leave their children in the hands of strangers rejected the offer. Mrs. Grace also accused Mama Osei about the child's disappearance. She hated her right from the beginning. She vowed to bring justice. Everyone had to move on after a year since no one heard anything about the baby. There was a time Mama Osei was almost caught. She was carrying children in the boot of her car when the police stopped her. She had the police in her hands, but these were new recruits who were very keen on their job and against the recent news of missing children. "Open your booth, madam," the mean-looking police ordered her. "Come on, police. Don't you know me?" Mama Osei said, trying to put money in the officer's hand, but he recoiled. "Don't even dare. Now open that booth," he yelled. This time he was dead serious. When she saw that it was getting out of hand, she called the DPO, who she was close to. He immediately called the officer and they let her go. That was one of her narrow escapades. But everything began to unravel when a young girl named Efe escaped under the watch of her guards. Efe was the daughter of Pastor Daniel, a renowned powerful man of God in the city of Benin. He was a servant of God who was truly called by God. He had performed all manner of miracles in the city. His church was filled with people from far and near because of what God was using him to do. There was a story about how he raised a girl who had been dead for a week. That story alone made people respect him in the community. He was married to Mrs. Esther and they had a daughter, Efe. She was their only child after 20 years of barrenness. Efe was the light of the family. She sang in the choir with her melodious voice. She was also a prayerful child. She was a genius. Efe was loved by everyone. Whenever she passed, people praised her. Parents used her as example to their children. Efe went to a school which was a little bit far from where she lived. After school, she usually paid transport back home since her parents always busy at that time of the day. On this fateful day, 9-year-old Efe stood at the pedestrian lane while waiting for a vehicle. The afternoon scorching sun was at its peak, which made her sweat. She waited for almost 30 minutes, but there was no vehicle. Everyone from her school was gone because they trekked home out of frustration. Her parents had warned her never to trek back home as they told her the dangers of it. Suddenly, Mama Osei's car stopped in front of her. "Hey beautiful girl, what are you doing under this scorching sun?" Mama Osei asked from her car. "There's no vehicle to take me home." Efe spoke innocently. "That's so bad. Okay, come in. I will drop you off at your house." Mama Osei told her. "I'm okay, ma'am. Thank you." Efe rejected immediately. "It's okay, dear. I won't hurt you. I have a daughter about your age." Mama Osei lied. Efe was confused. She didn't know whether to follow her or not. She had heard so many stories of how children were kidnapped in flashy cars. Her heart pounced twice as before. She also considered the fact that she had been standing under the hot sun for almost an hour now and time was going. She needed to be at home before her parents came back. After much thinking, she agreed. Okay. She got into the car and Mama Osei drove off. After driving for some time, Fa got worried. This is not the way to my house. Fa spoke looking scared. Mama Osei sped up. Fa kept on shouting at the top of her voice until Mama Osei silenced her by covering her nose and mouth with a white handkerchief that chloroform was poured on. Fa's voice silently faded off as she fell unconscious. Mama Osei took her to the house she usually dropped children she had abducted. She hid them in the innermost room in the building. They all looked hungry and pale. She dropped Fa's lifeless body on the ground. Fa had been kidnapped on her way home from school. That news sounded like a movie to Mrs. Esther and Pastor Daniel. They organized a search party who looked round the town for Fa. People voluntarily searched for her. Mrs. Esther was wounded by the news of her daughter's disappearance. She was totally shattered. Pastor Daniel on the other hand prayed to God to intervene. He cried at night while praying for his daughter to return. The thought of remaining childless after 20 years of barrenness scared both Pastor Daniel and his wife, Mrs. Esther. Mrs. Esther knew what she went through during that time. People called her a witch while some questioned her on where is her God. When she went missing, her parents, Mrs. Esther and Pastor Daniel, had searched everywhere, pleading with the police, but they dismissed her cries as the case of another runaway child. For days, Fa was held in a dark, windowless room with other children. Some were younger, some older, but all were terrified. They were given little food, and at night, they could hear strange chanting from somewhere deep within the house. One by one, children were taken away and never returned. Fa knew she had to escape. One night, when the guards were less vigilant, she squeezed through a broken wooden panel and ran barefoot into the night. Bruised, hungry, and terrified, she stumbled into the compound of a young teacher, Chinadu, who had recently moved to the village. Chinadu listened to Fa's story, and his blood ran cold. He had heard rumors about Mama Osei, but he had never imagined it could be this dark. He knew going to the police would be useless, they were in her pocket. So, he decided to investigate himself. As he dug deeper, he found old cases of missing children, all with connections to Mama Osei's businesses. He gathered evidence, spoke to people who had once worked for her, and even tried to approach the journalists in Benin City. But word got back to Mama Osei that someone was asking too many questions. One evening, as Chinadu walked home, he noticed he was being followed. The village had eyes everywhere, and Mama Osei had sent her men to deal with him. He barely made it back to his house, but he knew time was running out. Meanwhile, Fa's parents, Mrs. Esther and Pastor Daniel, had not given up. When they heard her daughter was alive and with Chinadu, they wept with relief, but they also burned with anger. Mrs. Esther began gathering women in the village, mothers who had also lost their children. One fateful night, the village erupted in chaos. The women, armed with sticks and torches, stormed Mama Osei's compound. The men, who had long feared her, joined in when they saw the fury of the mothers. By the time the police arrived, forced to act due to the outcry, they found the evidence they could no longer ignore: an NBSP, children locked away, ritual tools, and fresh graves. Mama Osei, once untouchable, was dragged out by the very people who had once praised her. Michael and Glory were surprised at what was happening. It was then that it dawned on them that Mama Osei was the one who kidnapped their baby. Glory almost stoned her to death in tears. "You witch, you killed my baby. I pray you rot in jail." Glory cried in pain. Michael consoled her, looking at Mama Osei with disgust. He was surprised that she could do such a thing. But as she was taken away, she only smiled. Some believed she still had powerful connections that would save her. Others feared that even in death, her spirit would seek revenge. As the days went on, little by little, her secrets started unveiling. Even the part that she sold her womb after sacrificing her first child, who was a sickler just because of wealth. Her name went round the city, but this time for bad. The news spread like wildfire. It spread across the internet, even her family were surprised at the news. As she was taken away, people still feared that she might return back or she might have an accomplice. But one thing was certain, her reign of terror had come to an end. Or had it?